Welcome back to Rev Endurance Sports and another edition of my version of industry news. I call balls and strikes on this channel. I know that sometimes I offend some people because I kill their sacred cow. Oh my God, tubeless has been wonderful for me. It's the best thing that's ever happened since sliced bread and all that stuff. And I don't think so. And so I'm opinionated. I think that's why you come to my channel. I call balls and strikes. I call it like I see it. What other idiom can I call a spade, right? So, but when someone, some company or some entity does something right, I like to also give them props. So, for example, I did a video on how I thought 105 Di2 was a dumb idea. And you could search for that video, or I should be able to put it down in the comments or in the description. So I thought that was a bad idea. And what was Shimano thinking? And I think long term it's a good idea, but you got to bring the price way, way, way down for it to make sense. So what about something good that Shimano has done? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Packaging. Plastics, these kinds of things. I think when a company takes a step in a responsible way, they need to be applauded for it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And what I have in my hand now is a Durace, so a single rim brake caliper for the 9100 series, the R9100 series, which was the last in the 11 speed series. This is R9100 direct mount caliper brake, and so is this. So this was the original packaging that they offered with, a glossy backing. It was a two-piece type of setup. Right, so you had the sleeve, you opened it up, and you had all of that. So that's what the packaging used to look like. That's what it looks like now. So it's not as tall, and it's definitely not as wide. So, and also you don't have the glossy, so, maybe this is more toxic to produce, but it is a lot more packaging. As a matter of fact, it's like nearly 60 grams of weight difference between these two, and it's the same content inside. It's the same. So extrapolate this out by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Boxes, pallets, crates, containers, and shipping loads, right? So we start with the smallest element, smallest unit, and scale up. So each one of these boxes is now, so if we go to the tail of the tape, it was, like almost 15 centimeters, and let's call it 6 inches. Hopefully you can see that. It's very awkward for me to hold it this way. But now it's much smaller. And I know that those numbers are backwards. Let me see if I can switch hands and do this. Here we go. Let's try this. So about 15 centimeters or about 6 inches, right? And then now it is, about 11.5 centimeters and about 4.5 inches. Well, like I said, you just continue to scale this up to the mass quantities. And disc brake caliper, all that stuff is coming now. I see it in much different packaging. Additionally, if we were to look at these L04C pads, now these are pads you could use if you're riding gravel and you've got maybe an L03A or L05A, you can replace it with this metal pad. But look at the packaging and look at the new packaging. So both of these are L04C, and you can see the packaging is dramatically different now. Look at all this plastic. So this is an outside casing, but then these two pads are encased in another plastic enclosure. So you've got double the plastic just for this small piece of... Now, for me, in the store, I mean, now I can't tell the difference from far enough away between the L05A and the L04C and the other 20 different brake pads that they make. So that's going to just be a little bit harder to look at and make sure you're issuing the correct pad to the customer. And if you have this in a self-help area for the customer, it's harder for them. Whereas this, if you walk in with a brake pad off of your bike, you walk in, you're just trying to match it, you've got the visual right there. So there are some things you're just going to have to get used to now, but long term, this is better for the environment than this was. This just had so much plastic. So this is a much better setup. This is a much better container for everything, just smaller. All the papers from previously, it's recycled paper, so it's already been used once. So anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out to Shimano for taking a very responsible step towards this one planet that we have, and making the world a safer place for my children. Heck, I've got a grandson now, so I got to be thinking in a different way as well. Okay, thank you so much for your time and your attention. Please like and subscribe if you like this content. I know sometimes I cover different topics, but that's because I want to appeal to a broader segment of YouTubers that click into cycling channels, and I thought this was just an interesting thing. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you up the road.